Good evening. Welcome to our workshop / special meeting today. There's an echo. Okay. It's the 21st of January and the time is 6:40. I have a roll call.
Ms. Flincham Marquez.
Present.
Mr. Cummins.
Present.
Ms. Chiarenza. Ms. Martinez Santiago. Mr. Creedon.
Present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As usual, we're going to start the meeting with public comments, not prescribed by New York State School Board Association, but we always like that. And our speaker, Gully, you're our one and only. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, good evening, Mr. President, trustees, Superintendent. Gully Stanford, 181 Marshall Road, Salt Point, a very proud member of the Community Schools Steering Committee. And here, since I wear another cap as a trustee with the Duchess BOCES, very, very proud of Chandrella Williams, who is about to be recognized this evening as a student of distinction, but also wanted to say how excited I am at some of the developments here in the Poughkeepsie schools. I had the honor of sitting in on the most recent meeting of the Student Support Committee and heard from Dr. Palmer and Mr. Wilson. Very, very excited. Looking forward to your reconvening, Mr. Superintendent, the Community Schools Steering Committee, as we move forward on your excellent plans. And by serendipity, it's wonderful that we have a report on career and college planning this evening. Looking forward greatly to that. The reason I'm sitting here is to let you know that, as Trustee Martinez knows well, I have been working on behalf of the Dutchess County School Boards Association to try to get adequate funding for the special needs education of preschool students. And I think you're very aware of that here in Poughkeepsie. We have so many students who need this instruction. So yesterday I did testify to the Dutchess County Legislature, urging them, while we wait for the state to review rates and bring them up to what is acceptable so that we can provide these services. But Dutchess County lags behind Ulster County by about $37 an hour in the reimbursement of what we call the 4410s, the service providers special education. And I have urged the legislature to recommend a change in the budget so that starting next year, at least Dutchess County would be on a level with Ulster. And I do want to thank Trustee Martinez for her work as member of the Dutchess County School Boards Association. And also she met with legislators and others with me over the years. This takes time, but I would ask my fellow trustees here to consider having a word with your county legislators and letting them know that such a move would actually be a great relief, not just to our budget, but an opportunity for a stitch in time saves 9. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Gully. Are there any other comments who haven't signed in? With that said, we're moving to the special presentation, the Student of Distinction from Duchess BOCES CTI program. Sebastina Young, fashion design and merchandising teacher, and Jason Lloyd, CTI principal. Please come up with Chandrella Williams. Bureau.
Okay. Board members, principal, administrator, colleagues, family and student. Sanjana William is highly motivated senior in the fashion design merchandising program who consistently demonstrate excellence in academics, creativity, professionalism, and character. She produce high quality work, shows strong leadership among peers, maintain excellent attendance, and approach challenge with responsibility and resilience. Her dedication, integrity, and commitment to personal growth make her a deserving candidate for student of distinction and an outstanding representative of program and school. And congratulations, Sanjana William.
Do you want to say a few words?
Hello. Testing. Okay. Good night, everybody. I'd like to thank Mr. Young for choosing me for this award and for all the skills that he teach me that I will go out and use in the real world. I would also like to thank Sibosies as well for allowing me to have this distinction award. And I will continue to do my best to make them proud and represent them well. I'd like to thank my mom, my uncle, my sister, and everyone who supported me for never giving up on me and for continuing to motivate me to do my best and to be different from others. That's it.
Thank you very much. We're
Thank you.
very proud of you.
Thank you.
Young lady, I just want to say, I am so proud of you. You are absolutely beautiful. Is that mom in the background there?
Oh, no, that's my
Your
sister.
family, I am so proud of you. Good things come out of Poughkeepsie. And you keep your head held high. When they talk about Poughkeepsie, you represent Poughkeepsie. I am extremely proud of you. And when you do leave or, further your career, just know that you are a proud young Black woman. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. Let us move on to the workshop topics. Mr. Mott, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Right. Fine.
Thank you, Mr. Creedon. I want to say, Ms. Wimp, and congratulations to you and job well done for exhibiting all those characteristics that we want in our citizens and in our students to be models and examples for those up and coming behind you, and definitely expect to read great things about you in the future. So congratulations to you, Ms. Williams and Mr. Young. Thank you very much for also accompanying her this evening. Let's give her another big round of applause. Thank you again. We have two workshop topics on this evening to present to the school board and community. We're going to start with Dr. Encarnacion and Ms. Turner as they make their way to the microphone. Our first presentation is going to be on early college, high school programs and graduation seals. You're going to learn more about the Portrait of a Graduate and our CTE program that's been in its implementation for the last couple of years under the leadership of Dr. Encarnacion. We want to appreciate Ms. Turner coming in as well and partnering with members of the Division of Instruction in preparation for this presentation. Then it's going to be followed by our mid-year senior progress report by our high school principal, Dr. Simpson. So without further delay, I'm going to turn over now to Ms. Turner, who's going to proceed with the early college high school programs presentation.
Thank you, Superintendent Mott. Good evening, President Creedon, Vice President Evans, Chirenza, fellow board members, and members of the Poughkeepsie City School District community. As always, it is an honor, and we thank you for the opportunity to share the information in tonight's presentation. I'm beginning with a reminder that during November 19th board meeting, I ended the presentation with these words: Poughkeepsie scholars are capable, their potential is limitless, and their success is non-negotiable. Every strategy we implement and highlight this evening, every adjustment we make, and every difficult decision we lean into is rooted in one truth: our scholars deserve nothing than our absolute best every single day. And tonight's presentation will highlight how our team is diligently working to make these words not something that live just on pages, but live in the reality of our students' life and everything that we do day in and day out in support and in service of our students, families, and community. Next slide. Oh, well, back one. We always start with our mission, and our mission is that we are champions and create pathways of success for our students, grounding ourselves in our superintendent's call of the urgency of now. Throughout this presentation, we will provide the board and the community with information on New York State's Inspire initiative, the New York State's Portrait of a Graduate, and the resulting shifts in graduation requirements, how we are explicitly addressing KPIs of advanced coursework and acceleration pathways as we highlight our early college, high school programs, and graduation seals. In the fall of 2024, New York State launched their New York State Inspire initiative, which includes the New York State Portrait of a Graduate. The state is committing that all graduating seniors are equipped with the following abilities that include academically preparedness, being creative innovators, critical thinkers, effective communicators, and global citizens, reflecting and future ready focus so they can engage successfully when they leave school and engage in society. Here, what we've highlighted here is that this shift also includes a change in the graduation requirements. So on the left side of this table, you'll see what we're currently working under. Currently in New York State, a student is eligible to graduate if they achieve 5 Regents exams, passing those exams, and 22 credits. They can graduate with one of 3 diplomas: the Regents diploma, the local diploma, or the Regents diploma with advanced distinction. There are 7 current pathways of graduation: art, STEM, humanities, world languages, career and development, and occupational standards, career tech, education, and civics. In 2029, starting with the 2029 cohort on the right-hand side, you'll see that the state is shifting to 1 diploma. So from 3 to 1, and that 1 diploma will include seals of endorsement or accreditations. Can you go back for a second? It doesn't mean that the Regents will go away. It just means that New York State is decoupling the Regents from assessment requirements. So we know that the Regents can become thresholds and barriers to students reaching those graduation requirements, and the state recognizes that too. So they do have a 4-year shift to decouple those Regents exams. So we don't have all of the guidance from the state yet. We're still waiting for guidance. But what they're saying right now is the exams may be a choice for students who want to do it that way. And then there'll be these other seals. And now I turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Encarnacion, who will go over the current seals.
Good evening. So while I'm going to be focusing on the high school, I just want to make sure that we don't forget that the College and Career Readiness Initiative of the district expands elementary, middle school, and high school. So in looking at the shifts from the state, from New York Inspires, graduation measures, and the portrait of a graduate, some of the ways that we are aligning the work, that's what I'm going to be sharing today. So as Ms. Turner shared that we are going to go to one diploma with different seals and endorsements, one of the ways that the Poughkeepsie City School District is moving towards that shift is by starting to develop two seals, the seal of biliteracy and the seal of civic readiness, which should be ready to go by next school year. These seals, in order they have criteria for students to get them. They are student selected seals, which include, the pathways include either related courses, extracurricular work, service learning, aligned assessments, projects and presentations. And the seals are received when students accrue points. The state has rubrics for both of them. Both of them have about 6 points that students have to accrue, and they look different for each seal. They could be because with 1 point for an assessment. It could be 2 points because they did a service project. So they do look different. The state has different rubrics for each seal. And the seals of advanced distinction, they will be in the one diploma. They're going to be attached to the diploma as well. So how do seals benefit students? For the seal of biliteracy, it showcases the dedication of language acquisition, and it aligns with the portrait of a graduate of the attribute of global citizenship. Many universities also award up to 16 college credits, or they bypass the language course that is required to graduate. Also, some institutions and organizations offer specific scholarships for SEAL recipients, and it provides employers with a verified credential, which identifies the candidates with 21st century skills needed for the global world. For the seal of civic readiness, it shows commitment to participatory government values and social responsibility, fostering active, informed citizens. It signals to universities that students understand civic responsibility and they are, responsible civil citizens. It is also a 4+1 pathway, which means that if a student chooses to go through the seal of civic readiness, they can take, right now you could take 5 regions, but you can substitute one of those regions for the seal of civic readiness. So it'll be 4 regions and the seal of civic readiness at this time. And then some colleges offer credit or recognition for achieving those seals. Any questions about the seals? Yes.
It's interesting that the seals are pointed towards colleges, not the workplace. And it may not, that's what the instructions from New York State say, but it's, as we start making this more real,
Mhm.
and I'm looking at our BOCES representative back there. This and a lot of the other actions are all geared toward students regressing above high school.
Yes.
It's just an observation, so I'm not misreading it.
Yes.
It's how it's rolling out right now.
I think that when I look at college readiness, college readiness cannot be separated from workforce readiness. When students need to come early to school, they need to come early to work. When they need to be organized in school, they need to be organized at work. So I don't separate well. So I think that if you look at the rubric, it aligns with work readiness as well, because it does, at least for the seal of civic readiness, it allows for students to do service projects in the community as well, which develop employability skills and
maybe
workability.
we can lean on BOCES, Sully, to do the education to the workforce of Dutchess, what it really means, because they won't know.
Okay.
Price
Okay.
Chopper won't know.
Any questions on the seals?
Can I ask a question on the seals?
Yes.
It's saying that some colleges will recognize and offer credits. Are those like colleges, New York State, like SUNY schools, or do we have any idea of like schools outside? I remember when I was in high school, I was really gung ho about getting my advanced
Mhm.
Regents diploma until when I got it and applied to college, I realized no one cared except like New York schools. So my thing is anyone gonna care, are schools outside of New York gonna care about these seals and distinctions, or is this really like for kids, students who are going to be continuing their education in New York colleges?
So when each school is different, so it depends on their, it's different, just
Yeah.
like AP courses,
Yeah, it'd be
they
interesting.
might or may not take it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
So-
to know once we do like start, applying these seals on.
Definitely, we'll look into
what
that.
schools will, how the
Excellent.
colleges are looking
Yep.
at these different
Absolutely.
distinctions and if they care, if they
Yeah.
care a little bit, not to
Absolutely.
be facetious or anything, but I worked my tail off to get that advanced research diploma,
Mhm.
not to just,
Mhm.
go to Marist, and they didn't really care about it at Marist either.
Yeah.
So, but thank you.
That's valid.
And just to add on, Dr. Encarnacion, I love what you said, that when you say college readiness and workforce readiness, there is really no distinction because, I have a daughter, went to college. She has college, tuition fees that she's paying now.
Mhm.
My son went to trade. He's making more money than her. And he
Mhm.
always says at our holiday parties, I have no college, no tuition.
Mhm.
So, we need to make sure that our students are prepared both ways. Because not everybody can go to college. And that's where BOCES comes in, right, Gully? To help our students. So we need to be able to help them in all areas. Not everybody is college material, and that's okay too. We just want to
Yeah.
prepare them for the world.
And if you look at the portrait of a graduate,
Yes,
it's really the overarching theme is we're preparing students to be forever learners.
that's right.
Because we don't know, they might not want to go to college now, but what about if at some point they
Mhm.
want to? They should
Mhm.
have that skill set as
Right.
well when they come out of our high school.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
So next slide.
Let me also just add, Ms. Turner, that could be some of the feedback we can share when we are in those workshop sessions with SCD across the
Oh.
state, that we asked that question, is there going to be SUNY or state supported schools where the seals may be more beneficial than not?
Mhm.
So maybe we just ask that question, because I know we were just in a session last
Mhm.
week
And they
with
ask-
somebody representative from SCD, and they didn't have all the answers to questions, but this is one I think we should pose.
Okay, great.
Definitely. So the other thing that we're doing to align with the New York Inspire and the Portrait of a Graduate is ensuring that students in our schools have access to CTE pathways. And there's two ways. There are in-district pathways and there's BOCES pathways. So as you can see from 2021 to now, we have triple fold the number of students enrolled in CTE. I'm happy to report that I do monitor their progress and they're doing excellent so far. And then in-district CTE pathways that we have at the high school: computer science, business entrepreneurship, health science, communications, criminal justice, early childhood, arts, the individual pathway, and graphic arts, Smart Scholars Performing Arts Academy, and an exploratory club for aviation. All of these career pathways have a sequence of courses under them. So I could give you an example of computer science, the sequence of courses for the computer science pathway. See really quickly, just so you have an idea. We have programming 1 and 2, AP Computer Science Principles, AP Computer Science A, and Project Lead the Way and Computer Essentials. That's one of like the sequence of courses for one of those pathways, the computer science pathway. And how does it align with the Portrait of a Graduate? Of course, if we look at career and technical education, we can say it aligns with all of the Portrait of a Graduate attributes, but I picked creative innovator, critical thinker, and effective communicator. questions about in-district CTE pathways and BOCES CTE pathways.
I have just a quick comment about how it might be cool to model the same seal system or badge system for the in-district pathways. I don't know if that's something folks have explored in terms of issuing high school students or middle school students or even elementary badges to kind of get in the habit of wanting to earn those things.
I believe the state is going to allow districts to develop seals or endorsements. We do have an endorsement for the BOCES CTE pathways, which is the industry exam. It's called a CTE endorsement that goes in their diploma. For that to happen, the programs have to be certified by the state. And for it to be certified by the state, they need CTE certified teachers first.
Okay.
Then it's a series of other pieces that go into certifying the programs. That's why they allow for BOCES CTE programs or in-district CTE programs.
And then in working with partnerships with other regional districts who are exploring their seals, there's one district who developed a seal financial literacy. So we are leaning on what they have already developed, and we didn't put it in the presentation tonight because we're just exploring. But they're across the region, districts are developing their own seals and working through that. And that is one that you'll see come down in Poughkeepsie. We'll bring that on.
That's great.
Eleanor, I see your microphone is on. Do you have a question?
No, I don't have a question.
All right. All right.
Can you just tell us a little bit for our education, what the CTE looks like from BOCES and what does that look like within districts?
So in BOCES CTE usually has real world projects. We don't call them projects. It's really real world work because they have actual industry partners or people that go there and ask for their services. So I don't call it project based. I used to work in BOCES, so you know, as an administrator and certifying their programs as well and looking at instruction. And the difference is really that they have real world people that go there. So it's like you leave the car, it's an actual car from a client. If they're in the digital media class, they're actually doing a real world card for a real company. So in our district, we do more like a project base. It's hands-on, but it's more project based, which not necessarily you don't have to have a client. I encourage the CTE programs to look into clients, but that will be kind of like the difference.
Just to clarify my question, so the BOCES, junior year, they get to select this as an option, like the nuts and bolts of that, because we do pay for these.
Yes.
So it's good for us to be educated on it.
Yeah.
And so what the placement looks like, I know in the past, historically, we've had community members ask us to raise our allocations for both these placements. So I think it's important that we know what that looks like, what's the availability, why we do it. And then in terms of the in-district piece of it with the project base, what are our students really gaining in terms of skills that they can then apply later on?
So each BOCES and CTE program has an employability profile that must be filled out by the students, where they assess themselves in the workability skills. So for example, they have a piece of paper where they say, I came on time, right? So they check that they came on time. So it's like I communicated clearly this week. So they do have employability skills that they check off to make sure that they're ready. And once they get the endorsement on their diploma, it tells the industry people that they have beginning readiness skills to work.
So if I'm a junior, for example, and I've been on a path, how do we pay for this? So BOCES, there are BOCES slots. If you could tell us a little bit more about understanding that, I think that this is nice, but understanding in terms of us funding more BOCES slots, like I've heard that it'd be great if we increase that availability, just understanding what that is and what our continued increased collaboration with BOCES could be.
So each year, we do a projected allocation based on student requests. So Dr. Simpson's here in the audience through the high school, students would request through their guidance counselor that they want to enroll in one of the offerings through our local BOCES. Unfortunately, nursing is a big one, so it's a nice example. I heard that the enrollment is declining and BOCES is no longer going to be able to offer that program. But if we use that program as an example, students who are interested in nursing would go to that program and they leave with an accreditation where they can go right into the workforce under nursing or continue on to Dutchess Community College and continue on through their degree pathway, right? So I think that's the difference in BOCES going in the programming a little bit. The allocation funds is typically a year out. So if we budget for 80 students this year and we have a couple students added to that, we would be billed the following year and BOCES budgets it that way. What we can't do, we would have to look at, and working with our assistant superintendent for business, is if there was a larger increase, what the impact would be for that. And I don't know those numbers, but we could get those for you in a follow-up to the board and what that would look like.
Fatima, can I ask the follow-up to this? Because it's confusing to me too. I
Might
know
lean on-
no students in science. They advertise that they will, in 4 years, get a high school degree and a degree from Dutchess in computer, an associate degree.
Are you talking about P-TECH?
The
Because
PTEC.
that's different
That's a
than
different
CT.
That's the
program.
next
We're gonna
one.
talk about
Oh,
P-TECH in a few
okay.
minutes.
That's
That
a
an-
different
that
development
answers
program.
The
Very
question.
It's different, yeah.
So, because I put PTEC under computer science,
No,
but
no.
or
That's
okay,
electrical
that's the next-
engineering.
That's the next,
Right.
well, all right.
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
a different program.
And we're not the only district who is asking for spots in BOCES, it's the whole Dutchess.
And so are you listening? When you look at career futures, I, prepared for this by doing all the studies from today to 2030. Health science blows everybody away in salary and job growth. So I don't know how that's the one that's lagging.
That's what BOCES told us.
Yeah, it has to
I-
do with certifications, state certifications, and I believe they can't
Teachers.
find teachers because
Teachers.
of the salary.
Okay, so it's a limitation
Yeah,
in resources,
yes,
not students embracing.
exactly. Yes,
All right,
We
because
get
it's off the chart on everything.
I know.
I will say, sorry, and Gully is in the back, that it's such a big loss for the CNA and LPN program being discontinued at BOCES, especially the CNA program. I used to be the HR, I worked in HR actually right across the street at the nursing home, and we used to get a lot of fresh LPNs and CNAs from that program. So it's really, really sad to see that go. This in-district CTE path, careers pathway is interesting to me. And it kind of reminds me of when I was at BOCES in 2009, I was in the New Visions program.
Yeah.
And I was in the New Visions healthcare program. And that program, I got to watch surgeries at Vassar. I saw a baby be born.
Yes,
My son also was in that program
Yeah,
and now he's
yeah.
very successful.
I watched a
the
open
health-
heart surgery and knee replacements. It really opened our eyes to the possibilities of what you can do in the healthcare practice. And I actually really wanted to be in the law program, but that program was discontinued the year before I started. But it was really, really eye-opening to watch. I passed out watching a baby be born. But it was an interesting program. And I'm glad that we have this in district now.
Yeah.
Before we had to go to BOCES to do it in order to get our, credits for DCC, but I'm glad that this is happening here in district at the school level, and it's expanded far beyond just healthcare. I wish I had these type of experiences and programs when I was still in high school. So this is really good. I hope I hope students take advantage of these type of programs because they do open your eyes to things that you don't know,
Exactly.
career and pathways that you don't think of.
All
So
right.
if we can advocate, we need to advocate to get that LPN and CNA program and get some teachers over there at CT at BOCES.
Mhm.
And I know you've been.
So-
I'm gonna stop to you now, but and then
Yeah.
how we expose students and share with them these opportunities is also very important. So what do those family night workshops look like, parent workshop look like, informed by a parent? What did those little PSAs look like to the various opportunities that we offer in the school district is something we should also consider.
And I think when we
Absolutely.
go to the next slide, you'll see how we've grown those programs over the last few years.
And there's more,
Wow.
but.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And I like to even just add, if you can go back, Becky, one more slide, just the number of students enrolled even at BOCES in 21, 22, and how it has grown
Mhm.
25, 26, and it continues to grow in terms of overall enrollment. So in reference to how we are sharing what we're offering and expanding the pathways,
Mhm.
kids will rise to the occasion, express interest by enrolling in them. So I just wanted to share that with you all as well. Next slide.
My microphone. We are also increasing the number of concurrent and dual enrollment courses to ensure that students have access to college level work. Right now we have 16 dual enrollment courses at the high school. The first semester, about 157 seniors took at least one college credit. And for the second semester, at least 126 seniors are taking it now. The way that aligns with the a portrait of a graduate attributes is being academically prepared, a critical thinker, global citizen, and effective communicator. And if you can see the courses from 2021 to now, it is also an increase. And also the number of students that are taking those courses. Questions about dual enrollment courses?
I have a question about tracking. Do we track students in terms of where they end up after they're in these programs? And are there any success stories that we could share? Besides
They're
Jamar?
right there. No.
Just of where students go and where it leads them.
So for the past, this is the second year that we are tracking. Yes, I don't have the numbers right now,
Yeah.
but I can definitely get that.
That would be great to see and inspirational for students to see that it translates into them going somewhere after.
And we have a new platform, a School Links platform, which actually has an alumni piece.
Cool.
So we're going to be using that this year
Awesome.
as well.
But it doesn't go back that far. It's 2 years, yeah, because
Yeah.
two of my children went through the health one and they're
Mhm.
both successful still in the healthcare industry. And there's a lot of stories like that. Back to 1982, we had two fashion students come out.
And we have an
And-
alumni panel that
Yeah,
also
you know,
come back.
so it'd
to
be
share
nice
with
if
the
we had that community memory.
Yes, we're working on diligently on getting all those success, to have
Beautiful.
that.
And just to add on to what Superintendent Mott was saying, exposure, not just for the high school. I feel like if we expose the students, even at the middle school.
Oh, they
level,
do. BOCES goes and presents
Right,
there.
just go and present.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of, believe it or not, we have a lot of successful parents too that are doing things that they can
Yes.
just come and speak to the children, like a career day.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah, go back to our times when we did career day.
And I don't want to jump to the next presentation, but do these count towards the Regents requirements, or do they still have to
Mhm.
take the Regents test, say for French
dual enrollment, some of them count towards the not the regions, but as graduation credit.
Right, but the-
Yes. And some count as elective credits to graduate as well
They'd still have to take the regions
This
to
year.
graduate.
this year and
okay.
next year.
So they could
And they
take
do.
English 102 or Spanish 4 and not get an A from Duchess and us, but not still have to take the regents.
Yes.
And this will
Yeah.
prepare, I would say
Yeah.
this program will prepare them to take the regents. And
Absolutely.
if they're taking this English 101 and 102,
Yes.
you can guarantee that they're going to get a 90 and above on that.
Well, we
that
can't
English
guarantee,
But-
but.
I mean, you can guarantee. I mean, you can pretty much guarantee if they're getting A's in English 101 and 102, they're gonna pass that region.
Scholarship.
But that corollary would be good. to-
Correlation,
to
causation.
You know, to show us
Mhm.
back to it's really working. And it's, you know, as you said, I hope what you say is true.
Okay. Next slide. So another way we are preparing students for college and career and aligning with the portrait of a graduate and New York Inspire is by ensuring that students have access to early college high schools. In the Poughkeepsie City High School, we have P-Tech, which is a P-Tech in mechatronics. It is a 2-year degree, and at the end of the 4 years, the students will be getting an associate's degree. In that program, we have 8 students in cohort 1 and 5 students in cohort 2 for a total of 13 students at this time. It is a very much accelerated program, like they have to take 9th grade and 10th grade in the same year. And I'm happy to report that students are doing really well at this time. This program, it is housed in Wappinger schools, even though it is a BOCES program. The BARD Early College High School allows students to earn up to 16 college credits in the liberal arts. And right now we have 4 students. It's a first cohort this year.
This is because Roosevelt has had this as an option for a longer period of time, but this is our
First year.
we're sending people to board.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I went to visit and they're like critical thinking. They're using the word. We're like critical thinkers. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So it's that fuels me when I go there. I'm like, this is why we're doing this.
Beautiful.
And then we have the Smart Scholars Performing Arts Academy, and it's an in-district program. Students can earn up to 24 college credits. And when we say can earn up to, if a student doesn't want to take a class, they're not going to earn that credit, but it is our hope that they want to take all the courses that we offer within the sequence of courses of them. There's 19 students in cohort 1 and 33 students in cohort 2 at this time. We are currently starting recruitment in February for all of these early college high schools. Question.
With that, can they go to is New Paltz part of that because they have a fairly large art programs at New Paltz and they are in the New York State system?
Which one?
The one on the
Some Smart Scholars.
NYS.
Smart Scholars. It is it's in the performing arts. So we have Marist has a performing arts program. Vassar has a performing arts BARD also, as well as SUNY New Paltz and Dutchess Community.
So this is a collective of,
Yeah.
that map is a collective. The state
Yeah.
picture is a collective of those 4
And
you
students
mentioned.
know that they have access to going into the performing arts. This program is really a little bit different because the performing arts allows students to develop a lot of skills like communication skills, presentation skills. So if you're going to be a doctor, you still can do performing arts. As a matter of fact, last year, the performing arts students came to perform in the library. And like 4 of them, one was gonna be a lawyer. The other, so it was like really good to see that they're like, oh, I'm learning so much from this program. So it's important to separate the performing arts from the skill set that they're gonna develop, because the skill set from performing arts can help you in anything, in any job. So I don't want to discourage people thinking that, oh, I don't want to go to the performing arts because I don't want to be in theater. But there's lighting, there's sound, there's a lot of backstage stuff. So we make sure that we let the students know that it could be music, dance, or theater, but it could also be the extended opportunities behind the scene as well. Questions about these 3? Okay. So college acceptance at this time and as of November 21st, these are self-reported. Some of our students really don't want to share that they've been accepted. So Mr. Maxon, who is the college and career counselor, she, this is what she was able to gather. 27 seniors have at least 1 acceptance. 22 seniors have 3 or more acceptances to 3 or more colleges. In total, from all the 27 and 22 are from 42 different colleges, universities, and trade schools. And the distribution are 21.7 were accepted to historically Black colleges and universities, 10.9 to SUNY universities, 37% out of state or trade school, and 30.4% to New York private schools. Any questions about those?
When you're looking at the percentage, are these 46 or are these 46 plus 22 plus 27?
So it's acceptances, let's say 22 seniors have 3 acceptances or more, it could be.
No, I understand that part.
Okay.
I'm saying on the right, the pie chart,
Mhm.
so that I can understand better the data and how it's being percentaged.
Mhm.
So are we saying that all of these on the left are within representation of the pie chart?
The 46 different colleges.
So 46 of them.
46.
So of those
Should be-
46, 21.7 got into HBCUs.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. It looks like we might need to increase that number.
Mhm.
Do you have a sense of why our kids are not feeling like they want to share?
We're trying to find out why, because it should be proud. You should be proud of it, but some of them don't. They just don't
Or-
want to share.
They could be waiting for March when
Also,
that they
That's
all.
they know for
I have
sure.
a nephew who's going through this. They're a little closed mouth to March when they get the final
But
tally.
I'm just getting at if have a developed relationship with a student
Acceptance. I don't want to share.
and we're connected, I'm gonna have a sense of them saying, oh, I'm waiting till March.
Mhm.
Or I don't
that
want to
could be
share
part of it.
because I'm nervous about it.
Yeah.
I just feel that that's what I want to hear is what is the relationships we're building with students that they feel trusting and supported and nurtured enough that we know the reasons.
It might be good to see the out of state and trade broken up,
Okay.
just to see
Right.
what that actually looks like.
Would HBCUs fall in out of state since we have no HBCUs in New York State? So they're like a double info here?
We have an HBCU panel that comes.
No, I mean like the numbers.
it is,
There are
you're
no
correct.
HBCUs in New York, so they would be included in out of state also.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's double.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good catch. It's a good catch.
And for the FAFSA, FAFSA has a platform that they publish data. They have their own deadlines to publish the data, and the latest one that we can find was November 30th, 2025. 129 students applied for FAFSA, and 123 completed the application. In a comparison to November 30th of last year, seems like 10 more students applied this year than last year for both. and December and June's data comparison is not yet available.
Is there a big push for I remember there being a huge push for families to do FAFSA early when I was in school and at workshops.
Do.
I think there were workshops like every week. Being that this is like a free application, I would, you know.
Yes, we have about 5 FAFSA nights where we have representatives from the university and the college and career counselor. They're there to support parents in filling out their FAFSA.
Are these well attended or?
They are.
Okay.
And this is a fuzzy memory. I always waited to, like for this year, the 2025 taxes were done
Mhm.
because I didn't then have to hand enter it in the FAFSA. I could just put my social security in after my taxes went to the IRS. So staging, when do you get that wave of FAFSA?
Yes.
So that's still happening.
So we have to understand that some parents, due to the current circumstances and what's happening, they might not want to give information as well. So
Do we track how many people come to these? I'm just really concerned about.
yes,
these
I can give you the
these
numbers.
FAFSA
We
numbers,
do
'cause
track.
Seeing that this is a free application, I would just expect everyone and all the parents to just do this or, so is it, I mean, can we do to encourage, more?
You want to, I know Dr. Sims she can speak to it as well. I know that Kelly Simexon does a lot of work
Yes, we do.
with
It's a good
outreach and sessions. I even want to say I've
Every
attended
Wednesday.
several Wednesday counseling times.
Yeah.
I guess so what I would like to hear, and this may be rhetorical for now, what is the outreach for those students who don't volunteer to go to those Wednesday sessions?
So the state is requiring, this year is the first year that the state is requiring that every student is informed and they have to fill a waiver if they decide not to. So there's an accountability piece now.
And there's also, I'll remind the director of the Children's Cabinet that that's one of your, I don't understand what they do, but you have allocated people to do it and they say that's not what works, but I hear now that it's mandatory. Are
It
you
is.
double dipping? Can you find out from Jill if that's what they're really doing and how they're coordinating that?
And I will just add that through the Career Action Center, who partners with us in the high school, they also offer a FAFSA night for our students and families and offered it recently at the local library.
And that's a Chamber of Commerce.
Correct.
Can you explain, Board President, what you mean by double dipping?
Oh, everybody needs to do something. So if you have the Chamber of Commerce, the children's and everybody, and then you have the new requirement that they have to do the waiver, when I look at, there's always limited resources. And are you spending them in the right places?
Well, that would be where we should, but that,
Are we
sure,
sending 3 funded people out
I
to do
don't-
the same?
I wouldn't characterize that as double dipping,
No,
but I would say.
Sorry, I'm
that
sorry
is-
for my English.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. But I would say that is essential, that we are putting whatever resources on the table to persuade our kids. And additionally to that, in applying for FAFSA, there's a parent process in that, parallel to it. And so I could see this being very confusing for kids to do this independently when they can't. There's a parent part of it that has to confirm the financial piece of that. So is that happening? How?
Yes, those are the FAFSA nights are for the parents and the students come every Wednesday. They have.
But the FAFSA nights are just like, hey, we're having FAFSA night.
No,
There's no, I just had a senior last year.
Mhm.
No one approached me about FAFSA. I mean, it doesn't happen. And so now that there's accountability, great. But we need to really engage our families in this, because otherwise kids are not going to be able by New York State independently complete a FAFSA. It's just not happening. I mean, we know this as those of us that are parents.
And are the students the ones signing this waiver? if they don't want to be educated, or is this because I don't, the state is actually allowing students to sign a waiver to not be educated on, and not the parent? At seven, I mean,
It is, the
17
the
is,
students have to sign the waiver,
okay,
that they were informed and
informed,
that they decided not to. And remember, all
That's
students, like we said at the beginning, all students don't go to college,
right,
right? But the important piece is for them to understand, even if they don't want to go to traditional college, they could also use FAFSA to do
Trade school.
trade schools. So that's really important for them to know as well.
Yeah, I think the outreach, I think we're all just concerned about the outreach.
Yes, I think that part is
The outreach part,
imperative.
because it's good to have the Wednesday
Right.
nights, but if we're not reaching everybody, what are we doing to reach the folks who can't come to Wednesday night, right? Like,
Exactly.
what are we doing to,
And
what are we doing to reach the parents who don't speak or read English, right? And have to complete
Exactly.
these documents too, like that's,
Yes.
I think that's what we're really concerned about, especially, and it's just not something parents have to pay for. It's a free application that they
Right.
can submit in order to get funding for their
Right.
children's college or trade school education. So I just think maybe, and this is not a slight to Miss Sexton at all. I know she's working her tail off to do this. But I think there is some outreach that we should be having with families, especially for the ones,
Exactly.
for the students who are signing that waiver.
Exactly.
Making sure that their parents know that they've been informed of this and they decided to sign a waiver not to submit this free application.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep pressing that point that it's free. Like, it's not-
Absolutely.
It doesn't require invest anything. It's
Yeah.
free.
And just to add, Board Trustee Cummings, at 18, some of the 18-year-olds don't even know what they want for breakfast,
Okay.
let alone you're talking about signing a waiver.
I know.
Like, that is just unheard of.
Yes.
So, you need that engagement together, the family together to make these decisions. I agree with Board Member Cummings. Exposure, exposure, exposure,
Mhm.
because if you
Yes.
put it out on Parent Square, you put it out everywhere we can. Me being a parent, having a child in this district, I want to be a part of that.
Mhm.
Because as I stated, at 18, you don't even know what you want in the morning. You might want waffles, you might want cereal.
I know.
And then to have that child, because it's still a child,
Mhm.
a young adult make that decision. The
Yes.
state makes mandates, but they don't always have common sense.
Mhm. I know.
But the outreach needs to start earlier on. I mean,
agree.
it can't, you cannot wait. And look,
I'll-
I support all the work that's happening. I'm really, really supportive of it. So just don't confuse my frustration right now as if I'm minimizing all the hard work that everyone's doing. But this cannot wait till you're a senior. It has to be done early on. By the time they're a senior, and even if you're trying to get them to decide what they want to do after high school, they're done.
Mhm.
Like by then, it's said and done. I'm not going to college. I'm not going to college. And I think that that is a missed opportunity in an educational institution to not have embedded from freshman year, period. We need to do better with that. And the other thing I want to say is that there's a misconception that Semexin is available. From what I've learned is that Semexin is available to seniors in the fall, and then that's it. She might be sporadically available during the year, but around this time of year, she does middle school and then she does elementary school based on a meeting that I attended with you in Encarnacion. So to say is one person, we need to really devote a lot more time in developing this, not a one touch point or like a 45-minute touch point. Hey, we're just telling you about this. It really needs to be embedded in the culture of our schools, that we see them as scholars. Here are the true pathways that are available to you, and here are the steps that we're going to walk through together,
Mhm.
in partnership with this.
I think I
Vic-
do, I
yeah.
do want to just highlight, because Dr. Encarnacion, I've been nudging her to do it and she hasn't. She's been working with the guidance department on developing 4-year
Plans.
graduation plans. So they're
Yeah.
in the process of developing them right now.
Mhm.
So we can implement them with students, which speaks to what you're talking about, having these conversations with our freshmen when they come in.
Yes.
Starting them to plan out their 4 years, letting them know what their pathways could
Mhm.
be when they get through their freshman year, what opportunities they have and how many college credits they could graduate with. I think that's another thing to highlight is the pathways that we're building allows our students to leave with a college degree and not have any debt associated with that, and then choose pathways moving forward in their lives. So I just want to highlight the work
Work
that she
that
is in development of
Yes.
and leading.
Can we take it to do on the superintendent's brief? That we have that brief, how you load down from the IRS once you complete your taxes in the superintendent's brief, even with a link to the IRS.
Or maybe even a.
So you see what I mean? Just initiate that reminder between now.
Like while they're doing their taxes, they can,
Yes.
they can, hit a button to link
to
your to your IRS taxes, and it'll complete the application for them and just submit it. So maybe we, as the district, can educate parents on our
And
webpage.
superintendent's brief.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I
the-
put that down.
Brief in the brief.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I wrote it, brief in the brief. Okay.
And the use of video, just
Yeah.
instead of all written material, but just quick videos people can watch.
I have one last question. Does Mrs. Mexon, does she work alone? Is she the only?
So Ms. Mexon, her job description is K through 12.
And she's the
Uh,
only one who
The
covers-
majority of her time is at the high school. She is working alone.
She needs
But
help. She's
she-
placed in the high
No,
school,
I
but
wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't say help, help is good, but I also
Okay.
think we need to revisit and look at how
So
we
we just.
maximizing the support of all of our school counselors at the high school.
Yes.
And I think that's important to do. Because I think we can get more benefits, services to our students if we looked at things a little bit differently.
Thank you. Mhm.
So how is the Poughkeepsie City School District aligning their work with New York Inspires and the Portrait of a Graduate? Just to summarize, we're focusing on developing seals and endorsements, providing career and technical education, increasing the number of students enrolled in concurrent dual enrollment courses, increasing the number of students participating in our early college high schools, monitoring FAFSA completion, and supporting students with college applications to increase college acceptances.
When is our first when can we issue our first badge?
What?
What's the earliest point in time
We're still developing.
we could issue a badge,
The seal?
the seal?
So it's a process. So the application itself, if you haven't done it prior to applying, you wouldn't know how to answer the questions.
I mean,
So it
our
has-
district,
We're in the process of developing our plans.
Yeah.
Our plans have to be submitted and approved by New York
to the
State.
state.
And once they approve it, then we're able to issue the seals. So we have to submit our plan before December of next year. So the first time we can issue seals is next June.
2027.
Correct.
Yes. It's a process. I wish we could just say, let's give it to, but the state has a process and a deadline.
I now say that, don't take it personally. The sense of urgency does not exist in New York SED and in education. No other private industry would say, oh, it's going to take 7 years to put a process in place, and expecting parents to show interest in something that's 3 years out or, is really, really hard. And I guess when you go to those meetings, just say there's no sense of urgency. And as a board member, if we have to allocate dollars, you always make trade-offs.
I mean, government moves slow.
This is beyond slow.
Government.
We feel it as well.
I mean, if you look at AI or anything, this is way beyond slow.
Right.
Hear me, Gully?
Ms. Turner,
Thank you.
Dr. Encarnacion,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you very much
Thank
for
you
your,
very
for
much.
your time this evening. Ms. Turner, I know you're gonna stay put.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Learned a
stay
lot
put for
about,
Dr. Simpson.
Our college of career readiness and various in-district and out-of-district programs. We're gonna transition now to our high school principal as Dr. Simpson make her way to the microphone. Our next presentation, we had a September presentation speaking to the supports of our high school seniors, and Dr. Simpson is going to give us a mid-year updated where we are in terms of our graduating class, the number of supports and other items that are listed in the presentation. So I want to turn it over now to Dr. Simpson and Ms. Turner to take us through our next presentation. Good evening,
Just launch
Dr.
right
Simpson.
in.
So, good evening, board members,
evening.
Superintendent Mott. I don't want you to be alarmed by the numbers that you are going to see. So, if you would allow me to present my information and then hold your questions to the end, I think, it kind of could clear up some of these numbers for you. Okay? Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Okay. So our 2022 cohort enrollment, when they started in ninth grade, was 321 students. As of January, 12th grade, the start of January, we have 257 students. That means that 64 students have either transferred to another school, transferred out of state, they went into a high school equivalency program, or they dropped out altogether, and some was excluded due to immunizations. So January, as you know, right now, we are in the process of taking our regions. So these scores will be changing probably by next week. We'll have different numbers because of that. So right now we have 77 seniors who still need English. We have 58 who need global. We have 70 who need US, 95 for algebra, and 52 for science. So when we talk about the science, though, it's not just living environment. It could be that they're taking earth science or they're taking chemistry, because in order to graduate, all they need is one Regents level science. So it could be any of those sciences that they're going to be taking. The interventions that we have been giving our students, we definitely do Regents prep. Some of them have been coming in because we do have some super seniors who come back, or seniors who can just go in and audit the class. They don't need to repeat the class. They've passed the class. They just have not passed the exam. So they're going into audit classes. We do offer AIS classes as well for our students. And we have Castle Learning, which is a computer-based program that the students can use. As far as the communication, I know last year we spoke about this, that some of the parents weren't aware of where their students were, and that, they just because they see a 12 on their report card does not mean that they are actually in good standings and that they are going to graduate. So board member Santiago, she, mentioned about the graduation contract. So we took that and, and we actually developed one, and we are meeting with our seniors and their parents to have them sign off on it so they understand exactly where their students are, how many credits, what regions they have, and, where they still need to either improve or continue on the path that they're on. Okay, we also have student meetings that we sit and we show our students exactly what is required for them to be successful. Individual exam schedules have been mailed out to students, and reminder emails have gone out. For this Regents exam alone, just yesterday, the counselor drove to a student's house to go get the student. Yes, so that was a 12th grader. And Mr. Conrad got in his car and he said, "Do you mind?" I said, "If the parent says it's okay, get that student in here." So we went to the house and got the student to come and take the exam. So as you can see right here from our cohort data as of January. So like I said, don't panic. This is January. We already had 4 students who graduated last year from this cohort. So they will be included in this cohort. So they're early grads. We have 134 green students, and 7 of those students already have advanced Regents with distinction either in math or science. We have yellow students, 73, and we have 52 red students. So as you can see, the criteria down there for what it stands for is that the green have met their graduation requirements. We're just trying to keep them green so they will be passing their classes, because believe it or not, that is a struggle. So we're trying to make sure that they continue to come to school. I just had another student, I will give you another example of one of my L students who actually dropped out. He had 20 credits in all his regents. Well, I want you to know, I tracked him down and I got him back enrolled in school, and he was in BOCES. So he's actually going to get a certificate at the end of his BOCES. This was his second year. So he felt that he needed to get a job. And I told him, I will help you get a job after school. Like I will go out and with you and search for a job, but you have to come back. And he did. So he's back in school on track to graduate. So students, the exams that they need, 39 students need one exam, 34 students need two, 20 students need three, and 21 students need four. So these are students that we are actually, going out, making sure that they are coming in to sit for these Regents exams, especially in January, because that will give them the opportunity that they need to be successful, to move on. And if they don't, they have another chance in June. So I do want to say before I move on from this slide that we have, after these Regents are done in January, we have possible traditional appeals that will boost up our graduation rate even further. So with global, we have 13 possible appeals, and all the students have to do now is just sit for the exam. And if they pass it, that's great. They'll pass it on the traditional. But if they don't pass it, they will be eligible for a traditional appeal, and they'll be able to graduate if that's the only exam that they need. Also in US, we have 21 possible appeals that students will be able to get to in order to graduate. And living environment, that's the only science that we put down there, but there are the sciences, as I said before. There's 3 students that if they pass that and if they sit for it, they will be able to get a traditional appeal. And in algebra, there is 32 students that if they just sit for it, they'll be able to get it. In ELA, we have 6 students. So I do want to take the time to say thank you to Mr. Mott and to Assistant Superintendent Turner for allowing our 11th graders for the first time in years to sit for the ELA exam in January. That is something that most districts do, and this will really help, take a lot of pressure off of them come June, especially the ones who sat. We had 297 students who sat for our ELA exam. So we're excited about that.
Wow.
So currently, again, don't panic. Don't panic. We have 138 that's currently on track. So we're at 43%. But remember, when I told you the number, the cohort number from the beginning, the students who transfer and go to another school, they will come off of that cohort number because we're no longer responsible for them. The other school district is responsible for them. So our true cohort number will change. And that's the number that we will be dividing to get our true graduation rate. But right now we're using the 321 students. So we're right currently standing at 43%. If we get our yellows and we are pushing, we will be at a 66% graduation rate.
Yeah.
I'm just talking. I mean, I really shouldn't talk, but I'm just so passionate about this. It's just near and dear to my heart because I know what the damage is when you just don't get there. And that's why I'm really passionate about it. Way too many people that have lost to because of these kinds of things. And so the fact that we have these targeted interventions is really key in getting them over the hump because that's a major achievement for them that they can feel so proud of themselves, and that is a true achievement, especially if they're breaking generational trauma, inheritance. I be the first generation to graduate high school. That's a major accomplishment. So sorry that you hear me here on the side, but I love that we're doing these targeted interventions.
No problem. Thank you.
And I know 66 is low, but it's better than the last 2 years, if you haven't noticed. And the point is that we progress even further with these interventions.
Right. We're heading in the right trajectory. We're definitely trending upward and onward.
Mhm.
I think that's it, right?
That is it.
Uh,
Yeah.
When you, on the, there's not page numbers.
That's okay.
When you say June 200 and 2026, it says 138 students.
You talk about January?
No,
No,
June
he's
20.
talking about
Oh, right
here.
there.
This
Okay.
is, this
Yes.
is your, so I read this is your estimate.
If we were in June right now, yes, that would be our graduation rate.
And then
But-
you talked about good things happening.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at the other numbers, I'll pick one. The 21 students who need 4 classes,
For regents.
4 regents may make up, somehow they're included in that, your estimate. Like.
So
as
no,
opposed-
they are
as
they are
opposed to the
red
ones who
students.
Needs 1 class.
No, so I'm including my yellow students in that estimate. My red students are and I hate to say it this way, they're like a Hail Mary, right? So
Okay, so
we are doing
we're-
everything to get them on track and to be able to graduate. So
So Dr. Simpson and so 39 and 74 make up the 73 students that
Right.
was referenced on the last page, Mr. Reading.
Right, well, I was looking at the 21 and 22 on the red.
Right, and those are
And
the
so
Hail
I
Mary.
figured they're somewhere in your.
they are, I
It-
mean, I'm not forgetting
You're
about
not
them.
forgetting about
No.
them, but that's why the projection is a little lower from the third page.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the other thing that we didn't highlight in this presentation that I would like to add is we're currently focused on our graduation rate, which is the 4-year graduation. So our red students may become those 5th and 6th-year graduates, so they'll still graduate and meet that requirement. They're just not part of our 4-year graduation rate
And
calculation.
Can you explain how the GED figures in anything or shows through anything?
So it doesn't show in because when they drop out and they go into a GED program, it counts against us.
So they're,
Counts as
and so
one graduate.
they're not, if they get a GED, they're not removed from the cohort.
No,
That's
Mhm.
a straight.
And they
answer.
don't count as graduating.
right.
Even though they can become successful,
Exactly.
become a doctor, become a lawyer with a GED, because come on, we have some students that, they're just unable, maybe pregnancy, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Some students just don't like school and they get a
Exactly.
GED and then they go on and
So
they're very
if
successful.
we go back to Dr. Encarnacion's presentation, that slide where we talked about the ways you can graduate, the only thing the state recognizes is those 3 diplomas.
If you're.
And I think, Ms. Turner, that's why the state hands down mandates, but it's up to us as a community and as, professionals to make sense where sense doesn't just connect, and I love the fact, Dr. Simpson, that you just, the student that needed to come in and take the test. But a question for you, where do you think the need is in the red zone? What could we do? I'm just asking, I'm being proactive and not reactive.
No,
Just
no.
based on your professional, being there at the high school, what do you think we can do to engage these students? Because I know some things happen at home, but what can we do?
Right. So it's very hard to get students who are below grade level
Mhm.
up to a par to be able to sit for the regents and pass and feel successful.
Okay.
So I just think a lot of interventions, I really feel like there should be a reading specialist at the high school
Right.
because
Right.
our students are coming in on 3rd and 4th grade levels.
Thank you so much for
The
that.
one thing that we did notice is there's a high incident of failures for algebra.
Mhm.
Dr. Simpson redesigned the algebra course this year to include
AIS.
an AIS section, and
Mhm.
we're piloting some resources and looking at and monitoring how those work and helping our students recover from some gaps that they may bring into their high school experience
And you know what,
mathematically.
I think at a higher level, because I'm not trying to downgrade, but even being the professional that I am, I don't use algebra. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being real, and it's something that they need to look at. Really.
Right. But they don't have to pass algebra. This is what people don't understand. They just need 5 regions.
Gotcha.
So they could pass geometry, trig,
Right.
and they could still get their regions.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be algebra.
Algebra per se. Okay.
Sorry, Bob, you just threw me off. Shoot.
I'm the old guy.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, first I want to say about the GEDs, and Mr. Atkins is in the back. He's a prime example of, you can get a GED, become very successful. So, just
Yeah,
there are people out
I was
there.
going to mention that.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But also I'm interested in knowing how, because we just had the presentation on CTE, and pathways to, careers, and how is that affecting, how's that affecting our graduation rate? Like, can you give us some insight at how these programs are successful for the students in the high school, and
Yes.
particularly for our seniors who are graduating, if any of those students will be having certification? Like, how can we connect those two?
So if they get what we started, well, Dr. Encarnacion had started the arts pathway. So there, the students were able to get the credit for that, the pathway, and then that would exclude them from one of the exams, one of the history exams. So I just want to be clear, it's one of the history exams. So that did help students graduate last year because they were struggling with global, which is one of the harder exams that they struggle with, and they have to pass global and US in order to graduate. So that did help with that. Also, we are now offering the Advent for our Spanish class. So most of our native Spanish speakers, they are able to get that. And then once they pass that exam, then they're able to exclude another Regents exam as well. So that also helped last year with our graduation rate. So I do want to say, though, that I know we talked about our career and college readiness and how the students are, being exposed to it. So my goal has always been to start in 9th grade. So in 9th grade, I start with taking the kids to local colleges. So they go to campuses, they see what's going on. They've been to Dutchess, they go right over to Vassar, and they get lunch on campus. They do all this stuff. Of course, we don't pay for it, but they get lunch. And at 10th grade, we branch out. We start taking them to like SUNY's across the river, upstate New York. And for 11th grade, we start our HBCU tours. So that should be coming across your desk soon. So just want to put that out there that we were looking for our transportation and our food because they're going to be away. So they have to eat overnight. So I just want to put that out there. So, and we only have one counselor for that whole program, and that she's servicing almost over 3,000 students. But we have, 5 counselors at the high school and 4 for each grade level who's only servicing 200 to 300 students. So it is, she's doing a really good job. She's making sure that she is trying to, have contact with all the students. So whether they want to go to college or they want to go in a career or want to go to the military, she's supporting all of that work. And on top of that, she now has to, go down to the elementary schools once a week and over to the high school, middle school once a week. So that's a lot of work for one person. And especially when we're saying that our seniors are, our primary focus to get them to fill out the FAFSA, to fill out college applications. And some of them have told me where they want to go, and they probably told her as well, but they asked us not to share So I won't share where they want to go because yeah, that's what they do. Like, I don't know if they don't want to jinx it. I don't know. They don't want people
Yeah,
to know,
wanna jinx
but, but they're like,
That's
don't
why.
say anything. Don't say anything. I'm like, okay, congratulations. And actually most of those students that you see, they have gotten scholarships over 40, 50, $60,000.
Wow.
All right. Back to what you said. Rewinding. You say you start freshman year.
Yes.
We don't start with the parents freshman year. So you see what I'm saying?
We do start with the parents
you-
freshman
the-
year.
But we
When the
have
parents,
events designed for them and newsletters and everything.
yes, when the parents come
Okay.
in, we start day one. Actually, we start over the summertime because we have orientation.
Right.
So
Right.
we tell them everything at orientation. Then when we have our parent teacher conferences or we have our open house, we start again. We have curriculum night where we have the parents come out. We show them what a Regents looks like. Like this is what your child has to sit for. And some of the parents were amazed because the math tests are not just calculations. It's a reading test.
I will say just on behalf of, not on behalf, but today I was a part of the RISE luncheon lead at the Poughkeepsie Middle School with Mrs. Semexon and Dr. Encarcion. So I see the work. I see the work that she's doing, and it is a lot. It seems difficult. It seems like a big load to lift,
Mhm.
but to see the work that she's doing in the middle school and just having a conversation with her about just how this all works and knowing that she has to do the high school and then the middle school and then elementary school, it is a lot of work for one person. But for one person me doing that work, I will say that she's doing great. She's doing great work.
Mhm.
For me as a board member, I think that's something we probably should look at if we want to make sure that our kids are getting resources and services, and not just dependent on one person to provide all those resources and services, but being able to have multiple people who can, but one person focus on elementary, middle school, high school.
Right.
I think that would be more productive and streamlined. And I remember having we didn't have a college and career readiness counselors. We had our guidance counselors, but our guidance counselors didn't have enough time, a lot of time, to have a conversation with us about graduating, about college, about FAFSA. I mean, they tried their hardest. So it's good to know that there is someone else who can do the work that the guidance counselor used to do for us, and giving the guidance counselor more time to spend guiding our students. I mean, it's budget season, right? It's something we can look at. I think it's something.
Yes.
I think it's something that we should look at, because it's important for the future of the student. So, and we figure out how to feed the churn.
Jamar, I
Yes,
think
let's
that's what I was saying
Children,
earlier.
children.
Yeah, I was saying, just to piggyback off of what Dr. Simpson was saying, that's what I was saying earlier. Maybe if the focus, after middle school is the high school and their career path, maybe we need to put a little extra love in the high school, because after high school, that's it. You paying bills.
Yes.
You paying bills. So
And
we
some
gotta
people are
prepare
paying
them.
there.
Because what happens when we don't pay our mortgage? Either you pay it or you live on someplace, so we need to prepare them. So if that focus is there, Dr. Simpson, thank you so much. We need to put a little extra care into the high school.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We could go on all night with great ideas. So,
Dr. Simpson, thank you very
thank you
much.
very
We
much.
appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Dr.
Thank you.
Simpson.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Creedon, that concludes the workshop topics.
All right, now we're gonna move on to the special. Correct? Becky, did I say that correctly? All right. The first action for the special meeting is 8.1 Board Resolution voluntarily reconfiguring new positions, Resolution 26-303.
This is for the technology support specialist.
Do I have a motion? I asked for the motion first. Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Second.
All right. So open for discussion? Is there discussion? Any discussion on the? It's about the realignment of
Discussion.
no discussion. No discussion. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor.
Okay, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion carried. Next is 8.2 approval of 913 provider resolution 26 point dash 302.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Placement of the students with exceptionality, resolution 26 303.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval, 8.4 approval of Gregory Mott to attend the AASA National Conference of Education, resolution 26.304.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I do.
I do too, so you go first.
Mr. Mott. Don't want to clap your hand, but your trip is coming up in 2 weeks, and you know how, we've been doing, but I won't do that to you, Mr. Superintendent, but just be mindful. Just be mindful. Be mindful. I appreciate it.
I'll take the responsibility, but I had this done prior to, but it's on here tonight. But I understand what you're saying.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And
I just don't want other people to get mad at us.
No, it's
For,
true.
you know,
No, it's
if
true.
we're gonna hold everybody, let's
and-
do it for everybody.
And I also had some discussion
It's true.
to say, because you're going to be away for the workshop meeting, correct?
Double check.
All right. So what I was asking, if there's anything that's important for the workshop meeting, could we move it up?
No, the workshop is the 18th.
And when are
Uh-oh,
you-
Bob.
When are you leaving?
He's back on the 15th.
Yeah.
Come back on the 15th, Bob.
All right, then that's great.
You take it back.
All right, take it back. You're gonna
Okay.
be here. You're not missing a meeting. Great. I misread 8 for 18.
Okay.
But in the past, superintendents have been absent for meetings and the board president takes the lead. I mean,
Yes,
it's not like it can't happen.
I was only
Yeah.
asking, you were missing, could we read? There was something that really had to be discussed.
Now we're not missing.
All right. All in favor?
Ah.
Geez, tickled, buddy.
See, if we had more time, I wouldn't have made you mistake. Just kidding. All right, we're now for comments. Right.
Thank you, Board President. Thank you, board members and community for your time and attention this evening for our workshop. And I hope you found it enlightening and educating, the two presentations we had tonight. One announcement just before we conclude. Today, you should have received a Parent Square message, and faculty and staff received a memo from me. We are launching the Superintendent Reading Challenge that will take place in February. And that would include our Poughkeepsie Read Wednesdays, where we are going to require our building administrators to support us in ensuring that all of our students, all of our faculty and staff have designated 20 to 25 minutes daily throughout this reading challenge. We are hoping that every student will read 100 minutes by June 30th. I think collectively we can do that. Part of the incentive and push from some of our board members is also something we know is based in research. So let's get behind this initiative. It's important. We know the value of reading and developing the love of reading and what that can open to many of our students in terms of exposure and information. So that is my announcement for this evening. If you have not read it, please look for it. There's also a video and there's also a website pertaining to our reading challenge. We are using a Mayan digital online platform, which is housed in our ClassLink platform for all of our students. So we're encouraging you to do so. I've also shared in a memorandum that our community members and board members periodically will visit with me to many of our schools to read with, not necessarily along with, but with. So join me in one of our walkthroughs and make way in one of the classrooms in the main office somewhere and let the kids see that we too are reading and joining in this reading challenge. So that concludes my comments for this evening, Mr. Board President.
Naomi?
I just want to thank everyone for their hard work this evening. And I wanted to give a special shout out to the Poughkeepsie Middle School students that will be performing the Dare to Dream Junior Disney musical review this week. So this Thursday and Friday, doors open at 5:45 p.m. and the show begins at 6 p.m. So it's free entertainment and the students are wonderful. So check it out. That's all.
Brings us to Jamar.
Just to piggyback off of that, I was at the middle school today again for the Rise luncheon lead. And I was able to speak with our 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade lunch period. A group of students from each grade level came to the library to discuss what I do at the city chamberlain here for the city in Poughkeepsie and how I got to where I'm at today. And I will say that I was very impressed with our students here in Poughkeepsie. Our 6th grade students were asking me questions. I was not prepared for some of the questions that they were asking me. And especially our 8th grade students, they were asking me questions like, what was your biggest adversity to get where you are today? And what challenges have you faced in school and college? Like just questions that when I was in 8th grade, I was making fart noises under my arm, right? I didn't care about those type of things. So it was just very refreshing. Even the words that they were using, a student used the word regression, and I'm like, wait, where did you learn that word? And asking questions about geopolitics, they're listening, they're learning. Speaking about ice raids and things like that, they're watching, they're listening. They're becoming really global citizens, and it was just super. I didn't realize how engaged our district is because a lot of times all you hear is doom and gloom. So today was one of the first days where I walked into a school and walked out and I was just smiling. I went back to the office and talked about this to all the staff, with the mayor. We're actually going to be planning a trip with our 8th grade students to City Hall to meet our mayor and meet because they're really interested in learning about city government and how City Hall works. And hopefully we can include our county executive and our state representatives and teaching them about government and learning about how laws are made and how their city is operated. Also, another thing that came up was voting. These students are interested even in voting in 6th grade and 7th and 8th grade. So I plan on having a conversation with our, Mr. Atkins, and maybe we can do a district-wide mock elections and not just, on election day, but like getting create some voter registration forms and only allowing people who register to vote to go and vote. Like make it a real process to get these kids acclimated to that process of voting in and yeah, excited about voting. Like I said, I used to go in the polls with my parents when I was younger. I didn't know what the heck they were doing, but they told me who they were voting for. I knew who our mayor and our council people were because I was in the polls with my parents when they were voting. So I think it's a good time now to get our young people engaged in geopolitics and local politics in order to really hone in on that global citizen push that we have for the portrait of a graduate. So today was great. Today I had a really good day at the middle school, and I'm really excited to see where those students will be in the next 4 years. There's a few students who I want to take under my wings and help mentor. But yeah, there's good work happening in Poughkeepsie, and the middle school was clean. The lockers were glistening, the floors were shining. It just was a nice environment. And then the play was going on for the students, and it sounded like I was on Broadway. I walked in there was a young lady on a ladder singing from the top of the ladder, and she sounded like Patti LuPone, right? So I think we are creating some really good talent. I'm excited. I'm glad I went to the middle school today. It's definitely uplifted me and changed my perspective on a few things here at the district. And shout out to you for the reading challenge. I'm excited. I'll come and read books to everybody. I got you. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Fatima?
I wanted to talk a little bit about what Gully Stanford was mentioning earlier today. There was some advocacy work that some trustees throughout the county were allying on and working collectively to get our legislatures to push forward legislation to increase the hourly wages of these practitioners that go into homes and provide itinerant services. Why is that so critical? Because what happens is that you can be offered itinerant services as a part of your offering, and it could also be a part of your IEP. And what we found was that we don't have a lot of practitioners that want to come into Poughkeepsie. And that's a problem. And so in order to increase the motivation to have more practitioners involved, we really need those rates to go up. Because our kids end up really losing out on that. So I do request colleagues throughout our systems to please put legislation forward to increase that rate. The other thing that Gully was talking about was the 4410s. Another barrier that we have is that the 4410 approvals take a really long time. And for some time, we were having discussions about for our early learners, because there was an increase, and I'm sure at some point Dr. Palmer will share data on this, that our numbers for our younger scholars are increasing. And so we offer 4410s services within our district that will increase the offerings that we can give. And again, very passionate about that, having had two of my own kids go through a 4410 process when they were younger, and can't tell you the return on the early interventions, how critical they are, and in the long run, how beneficial that ends up being. And also from a cost perspective, it really does decrease the cost that we then incur as a district. Again, those are two really big major supports that I hope we will all rally around. I want to say that our student Chandrella Williams is the best we got. There is nothing more better to define who we are as Poughkeepsie City School District than our kids. Boom. She is the best of the best. I am just so very proud of her. Trustee Chiarenza, you hit it on the nose. That's why I didn't have to say anything, because you sealed it for me. Just so proud of you and what you have represented for us. Thank you for that. I'm gonna leave it there. You know, I'm still lingering on my seniors. And making sure they're prepared. I'm extremely passionate about it. I just want our kids to have, it is hard, if there's anything as board members that we do, is to make sure we're supporting our people on the ground, putting boots on the ground, making sure that our kids have the best opportunity in being successful in their lives, because they got too much already against them. Too much. And so for those of us that are fully aware of that, whatever we can do to support our interventions and boots on the ground, we should be doing that. Thank you.
Eleanor?
I just want to thank everybody here tonight for helping to make our district successful, and, you know, putting into our children, helping, you know, to water them so that they can grow and be productive members of society. And if anyone has been good to you, pass that light along. And remember that we're not just educators, we're not just professionals, we're human beings first. And the most important human thing we can do is serve each other, meaning help the children. Ms. Popkin, I've heard so many great things, help the children. You all sitting there, help the children, because we all had someone that helped us. So all I want to say is that I agree with our board members. We need more to put a lot of focus into our high school, because after high school, that's it. It's either you go to college or whatever you do. So we want to make productive members of society, that when we retire, remember, this is temporary. It's temporary. It may seem long, but it's not. We need to pass that torch along so that when we're older, you know, they can be productive and we won't have to worry about our safety or anything that happens. So we're watering them now so that they can be productive members of society. So it's an extreme and it's an honor to be able to educate.
All right, I already told some staff members, I'm not frustrated at our pace and intensity, but the SAD, it's like watching paint dry. I'm in the 21st century, 8 years to get a process in place. They're already changing some of the math requirements as we're standing here waiting to formulate the math path. We're missing pieces and nobody, and we're going to be asked to prioritize spend. And do we look at that and say, oh, they're trying to do this? How do we unite our spend with where they're going? They're not pushing common reports of where the jobs are, where the industries are. Every school district shouldn't have to do this. There's one or three reports that list the highest professions, most jobs. It's all shrink wrapped, and SED just doesn't do it for the 496 districts. So we all could then roll this and say, what would we change in the 21st in that plan to make sure? And I was also struck where there's a big push for lots of reasons for CST, like plumbers, this and all that. But everything they're building on moving forward and encouraging us to do is all based on follow-on education past high school. Everything they're presenting to us, you even read the words on it. And is that a bad thing? No, because a lot of families use that to keep the kids, get them out of bed. You know, they use the badges to get them out of bed. And it's really important. And we really have to do this well. I just don't think it's not the people here. The state has the urgency of now. And they complain about the teachers and then they set the teachers curriculum and train 65% of our teachers. It makes no sense. And so I'm sorry, because it's really, I really want to see us going in the right direction. I see the kids going to the computer science, get off the bus every day. I see the band. It all has a stickiness. I see ROTC. I mean, they're one that isn't the entitled or this. They're really representative of our demographic across the board. And she's doing a great job. All right. And they're coming to school and, they're not in the red slice of the Venn diagram, you know, and we just have to get more of that going. But we really do need, when you go to yell at the state, tell them you have the cranky guy on the school board who's saying how bad their plan is. And it has not the urgency of now. And because that's a long time out there, you know, to see the success. So sorry for that little negative. We're going into a new year. Everybody's working hard. I'm sure we'll all be, we don't know which way the Monday call will go because the weather hasn't called the Monday. It's either going to be a blizzard or a dusting, nowhere in between. You know? So have a great new year and have a great trip, Greg. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Aye. All in favor?
Aye.